Hey everyone, welcome back to Royal House. Today, we're diving into the explosive claims surrounding Meghan Markle, her father Thomas, and the shocking revelations from Lady Colin Campbell.
This is a great story, one that I approve of very much. Before we go to our guest, let's have a look at Meghan Markle's father, Thomas Markle Sr., talking about how he doesn't get to see his grandchildren.
I still haven't seen my grandkids, and that's it is a vow. I want to see my grandkids, and I think the king would like to see his grandkids as well.
Well, it's quite heartbreaking, isn't it? Thomas Markle, who lives in Mexico, only about a 3-hour drive from where his daughter lives, has never seen his kids, Archie and Lilibet. The king last saw his grandchildren, the same grandchildren, 2 years ago when Harry and Meghan and the kids came back for the late Queen's Jubilee celebration. So there are fears now that the king may never see his grandchildren again, and Thomas Markle, poor Thomas Markle, has never seen them. Of course, you saw him there suffering from the effects of a couple of strokes that he's had. He's in very poor health. I think it's coming up for his 80th birthday, and our next guest is raising money to help him in his hour of need. And she is the great socialite, also author, of course, and a reality TV star, Lady Colin Campbell. Welcome to the show, Lady Colin.
Hello, hello.
Now, I love what you've done. You've started to raise money in a GoFundMe for Thomas Markle because he's a kind man. He's done a lot of good work in his life. If you talk to people in Hollywood, where he was a lighting executive, he was a big charity worker. When his daughter was at school, he couldn't do enough for the school, and now he finds himself cut out of her life, cut out of her family's life. And you've been raising money for him on GoFundMe. Tell us how much you've raised and why you're doing it.
This story has it all: family feuds, royal drama, and a whole lot of questions. So, Thomas Markle, living just a few hours away, has never met his grandchildren. Can you believe it? He's publicly pleading to see them. It's heartbreaking. Lady Colin Campbell, bless her, has stepped up, calling Thomas a modern-day King Lear. She's even started a GoFundMe, describing him as a kind man who's done good. And you know what? It's working. Nearly £50,000 raised. That's incredible. Lady C paints Meghan as a combo of Goneril and Regan, those ruthless characters from Shakespeare. Strong words. She believes Thomas was a naive victim, manipulated by the press after that staged photo incident.
I think it's about nearly £50,000. Why am I doing it? Somebody said that they thought it would be a good idea. And I thought, well, yeah, it will be a good idea. And if I don't do it, who's going to do it? So I did it, you know. I thought, why not do it? He deserves... I also have a great deal of sympathy for Thomas Markle. I think he's a living King Lear, and Meghan is a living combination of Goneril and Regan. And I think the whole thing is a genuine tragedy. And this Goneril character that she is, you know, is poisonous, thankless, and, you know, I mean, can you imagine the poor man's anguish? I mean, I've spoken to him over the years, and, you know, he is genuinely suffering, as any father who loved his daughter would suffer. And she has cut him out of her life over an incident that, in fact, they now all suspect that she orchestrated.
Well, either way, Colin, I know what happened there. Now, this is a guy with no experience of the media. Suddenly, his daughter is thrust into the limelight because she's the girlfriend, the fiancée of the heir to the throne, Harry. Journalists went down to Mexico. Rosarita is where he lives. Nice place. And basically sort of conned him into talking and sort of posing for some pictures, and she thinks that he threw her to the media lions, and she has never spoken to him since. I think he was just a sort of naive victim of classic, you know, kind of manipulative journalists. You know, I've been there myself, you can imagine. I know what the journalists get up to. So I don't think it's fair what she's doing to him. I think she should let him see his grandchildren, because let's face it, he's not in the best of health, just about to be 80. We can see he says that he doesn't expect to be around for too much longer. So please, Meghan, let your father see his grandkids before he dies. And also, Colin, let's not forget the King himself, King Charles, who hasn't seen them for 2 years, and many fear now in royal circles that he never will again, because Harry is saying he never will bring the kids back to Britain because of his security fears.
Which is ludicrous, because if they are in a royal environment, they are automatically protected. And are Harry and Meghan seriously expecting intelligent people to believe that Britain is a far less safe place than Jamaica or Nigeria, both of which have very high crime rates, and Britain doesn't have a high crime rate? And also, any area that has a high crime rate in Britain, they would never be exposed to. The whole thing is palpably ludicrous. But, you know, Harry and Meghan are very devious and manipulative and punitive people. And I know as a fact that he got friends of his who are friends of mine when I was writing my book, Meghan and Harry, The Real Story, to feed me a whole series of really disgraceful, shocking lies about Thomas Markle, which he has subsequently, in his very actions, confirmed he knew were lies all along. I mean, is this the way you should ever treat a father, even a father who did something wrong? And Thomas Markle, with due respect.
This isn't just about Thomas, though. King Charles hasn't seen his grandchildren in 2 years. 2 years. There are fears he might never see them again. Imagine the pain. This family rift is deep. It begs the question, what's really going on behind palace walls? It's a tragedy playing out in real time. Lady Colin alleges Meghan declined help from authorities for her father. That's a serious claim. She goes further, stating Meghan has been an appalling human being. Now, that's strong stuff. We have to consider, is this all true? Was Thomas truly just a victim? And if so, why the cold shoulder? The video highlights that it was after the staged photos that Meghan cut him off.
Jeff Rayner, the photographer, got in touch with Samantha.
Yeah, I know Jeff, yeah.
And Jeff Rayner gave Samantha certain assurances and convinced her, and she convinced her father, who didn't want to do it, that this would protect his dignity and restore his dignity. Because also, remember, Meghan was offered by the palace protection and assistance for both her parents. She availed herself of the offer for her mother and refused it on behalf of her father. And her father has never even received an invitation to the wedding. I mean, there's something rotten that has gone on here that is so truly offensive to anybody who respects decency and family values, and really just being a nice human being.
Yeah, I seem to remember, Colin, that Thomas was originally invited to the wedding, subsequently had a heart attack that precluded him going, but also in the run-up to the wedding, that's when he did this deal with the photographer to pose in his wedding gear and all that. But either way, I mean, okay, you know, you can imagine Meghan being slightly upset about this, but don't you think that, what are we now? This is 2018 they got married, so we're talking about 7 years ago that this happened. Don't you think this cruelty, this is a kind of prolonged cruelty towards Thomas Markle, isn't it? Not letting him see his grandkids, and also the absurdity, Colin, of the fact that he has never, ever met Harry. Meghan has ruthlessly cut him out of her life over this minor incident involving a photographer, which I think she should forgive him for now, don't you?
Oh, well, absolutely. And indeed, my point is, is there anything to forgive? Because it would appear that she set the whole thing up with Jeff Rayner. But whether she did or not, it was a minor infraction. She and Harry would like the royal family to re-embrace them, and they have done far worse, and they have betrayed the royal family far more effectively and done them far more harm than Thomas Markle didn't do her any harm. I think the whole thing stinks to high heaven, and I think she has shown herself to be an appalling human being. And I thought that I wanted to give Thomas Markle the opportunity of seeing that there are decent people out there who do not buy the lie. And fortunately, in their thousands, they have stepped up to the plate. And I think it's wonderful. And he says he's never had anybody do anything that was as nice as what has happened with this. And I was just my idea, but it's the thousands of people who have contributed. And I think.
Yeah, you got 40. I've got here. Sorry to interrupt. You got nearly 2,500 people have donated to this. So I think you've definitely struck a chord here, and I really appreciate what you've done, because I think most people feel very sorry for Thomas Markle Senior. Let him see his grandchildren before he dies, and while we're at it, let the King see his grandkids as well, because the King can't just drop everything and go to California. They have to come to him.
Can Meghan reconcile with her father? Can she repair her image? That's the million-dollar question. This whole situation is a PR nightmare. Can she bridge this gap? Is it even possible? It seems like an impossible task. If you are enjoying this content, please click the subscribe button. This story is far from over. It's a complex web of family, fame, and fractured relationships. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching Royal House, and I'll see you next time.